Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. And today, I don't really do I guess, story times like this, but I actually need to get something off my chest. I just wanted to talk about my experience and why I learned why you should never date successful girls and, spread that, to the guys out there to, you know, teach you guys that you should never date successful girls. So basically, I have this friend in New York and she became really successful. She went to NYU and graduated, and she became really successful. And, she got a lot of followers. She became, not famous, but, on certain platforms, she has a lot. So, she started to know a lot of people. So, of course, because I'm connected with her, I'm like, she basically put me on some girls, but some of them I didn't really like. But there was this one girl that I saw, and I immediately knew I liked her, right? And this is the successful girl. So I'm not going to say her name, but basically, you know, I saw her because I knew she was I know who she's kind of connected with. I'm like, I like her. And she's like, oh, yeah, she's single. So I was like, oh, okay. You think I have a chance? And she's like, I don't really know. She's like, she basically said she's above my level. So I was like, damn, but I'm like, she gave me her Insta anyway. So I looked, and this girl, one, she was kind of out of my age range. A little older. I'm 19. She was 26. Um, she graduated from Columbia Medical School. I'm gonna go to medical school too. I can't even freaking speak English, bro. I don't know how I'm gonna get in, but I'm going to medical school too. But Columbia Medical School, yeah, no, that's not happening in 1,000 years. Um, so whatever. So I went through her following, and bro, all I see is different modeling companies and these guys with hundreds of thousands of followers. One guy literally had over 100K followers, and he would dance without his shirt on, and he had visible abs, and they were following each other. I'm like, all right, bro, I got visible flabs. This shit is never gonna work. But she was, she just had that look. I like my ABGs. She was, kind of old to be an ABG, but she had the abs. She was really fit. You know what? So I just shot my shot anyway. It was a Hail Mary, shooting at the universe. Shot my shot, but she actually replied, and she's like, blah, blah, blah. And we started talking. She's like, oh, you sound sweet. What do you look like? And I showed her what I looked like. She's like, oh, you're cute. So I thought she was just being friendly, because then she was like, how old are you? I'm like, I was about to lie, but I'm not that much of an asshole. So I'm like, oh, I'm 19. She's like, oh, okay. And I guess she didn't care, but so I got so excited. I was jittery. When you like a girl and you get that. I haven't felt that in a long time. I obviously flirt with people, but you don't really get the butterflies. I got the butterflies from her, and I really liked her. So I was like, oh shit, like, oh my god. So I was going in there. We were talking, and then I'm like, okay, so do you want to do something soon? You're in the city, right? And she's like, no, I'm gonna be in Europe for a week. I was like, oh, okay. What about when you get back? And she's like, sure. I think this was around Halloween time. And she's like, yeah, sure. So, I go out doing my thing, and I see her freaking, I go through her following every day, and I see, the famous people. I see freaking modeling companies in Florida or something, you know, commenting on her literal post, bro. I've never seen anything like it before. And, she didn't really answer me that much, so I thought I kind of fumbled. But eventually she was, coming back. So I was like, oh, you're going to come back? She's like, no, I wanted to stay in Paris and for 2 more weeks. I was like, what the hell are you talking about? You can't just do that. I'm like, what do you, I'm like, so I just asked, what do you do for work? Because, she graduated. She's like, oh, I work for some data company. I'm like, oh, didn't you graduate from medical school? She's like, yeah, but this connection was better. So she's like, I can work from wherever I want. So, and, she models, so she kind of can go wherever she wants to. I don't really know how that works, but that's what she said. She can work wherever she wants, and she gets paid to do it. So I was like, all right, bro. I didn't even know if she was telling the truth. 2 more weeks go by, and finally, we were talking a lot less. But I basically, another Hail Mary. I was so desperate, but I asked again, do you want to go out? And she was like, okay, sure. When? And she's like, 2 days. And I was like, oh, sure. So I was nervous. So the night before, I have friends at Juilliard. It's like a music school in New York, and let's just say I was partying a little hard the night before. Like it was the night before. I was so ready. I was staying at my friend's. She goes to Juilliard, and there's like a lot of empty dorms there, so you can kind of just sleep there. So I was gonna sleep there, which I did, but there was a party, and I did kind of party a little hard. So let's say when I woke up, I was a little hydrated. I actually made a video, a short about it because I was nervous and I needed to get something on my mind now. So I made a short. I'm like, oh, at Juilliard, I had a bag of Doritos on my face. You know, I was so bloated, like I had a pimple coming out or something, bro. And I had like I was just, I was a little, my head hurts so bad. And when I woke up, it was 20 minutes from the time we were supposed to meet up. All right, we had a date and we planned to go to a sushi place, the date, and I was so like nervous for it. And I don't know why I went to a party, but I thought, since we were gonna hang out like 4, I thought like I'd have more than enough time to get ready and everything. It was 3:40 by the time I woke up. I was like, holy crap, bro. And I just did I was like, yo, you want, like, I'm sorry, like, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to come. Like, it was such like an asshole move. And she's like, oh, I'm already on the way. I'm like, oh, okay. Okay. So I was honest with her. I'm like, listen, I'm a little hungover. Like, so I thought I fumbled, but she was already on her way. So I thought when I went, it was just gonna be a really awkward day and she was gonna be pissed, but she already got ready and everything. So I get ready. I don't even shower because there's the showers in there are disgusting. First of all, I slept there a couple times. I didn't bring a towel or anything because I was an idiot, and I didn't bring a change of clothes either because I was an idiot. And yeah, so I'm in my dirty, sweaty party clothes from the night before, and um, I'm a little, I drank a little too much the last night. So, yeah, so I head out, I get on the subway, and I take the wrong one, and I go, and I finally meet her, Lower Manhattan. Like, I was like 20 minutes late. So I get there, I look terrible, I probably smell terrible, I'm all bloated. Oh my God, it was so bad. And there she is. And oh my God, bro. It's like when you see someone in slow motion. I saw her. She has like a little bit of red hair, bro. Oh my gosh, she looks so good. She was like tall too. I like that. She had that mature look. She is older. I like that too. And oh my gosh, bro. Like I couldn't even look at her, bro. I was so embarrassed. I was so mad at myself. I almost just like did her a favor and just gave her like $1 million and left. But we saw each other, and I was like laughing. But I guess the laughing works because she was like laughing too, like because I was just nervous laughing because I've never been so nervous for a first date. But so we go to the sushi place, and it's closed, like it's full, it's booked. So I was like, oh, right. And then I was like, let's just go to a different one. So I find a different one, and it's like a 40-minute wait. And I'm like, do you just want to wait? And then she's like, sure, I'm down. Like, she was so sweet. But bro, she had like this blue body dress on. You could literally see her abs like poking. Like, oh my God, like she was so fit. And she had everything. She had oh my God, I can't even, bro. She looks so good. I just looked like a bum, bro. But like, imagine the hottest like girl you've ever seen. Multiply that by 2, and add the fact that she graduated like from Columbia and she was super successful. And this isn't even half of it. So yeah, we go to the place and it's 30 minutes, and then they say it's gonna be another 30 minutes. So I'm like, let's just go. And she's like, yeah, I wanted to go. I was like, oh damn, she's not having this. So I'm like, okay, let's go here. We go to a different sushi place and we walk in and it looks so nice. Like it's actually nice. Um, it was like, I don't know. This was like November. I guess they already had like Christmas outfits on. So I was like, all right. Like it was kind of a little festive. Um, but yeah, we go and we order appetizers, and it's good, and it's going a little slow at this point. I'm not even gonna lie. Um, but when the food comes out, that's when I come out. When I start eating food, things get a lot better. So I'm talking more, and finally, she's finally starting. I can finally see her like actually having fun and not just being miserable. So we're having fun, we're talking, and then the food comes out, and then more food comes out, and then eventually she's like, "Oh, we should order more." I'm like, "Oh." I literally said, I was like, "Is that a joke?" And she's like, "I do want to try this," and then she's like, "If you get it, I'll give you a gift." I was like, "Fine." And at this point, I thought she was just using me for a free meal because that makes sense. But I felt bad because I was late and everything, so I just got it anyway. Um, and then I got it, and then the check came out finally, and the meal was it was, let's just say it was over $100. Is a lot. So I regrettably bought it, and we left, and I thought that was gonna be the end of it. And she's like, I'm gonna give you your gift. And I'm like, oh yeah, I low-key forgot about it because, I saw the price of the thing. And she's like, I know you love sweets, like, because we were talking about it. I love sweet foods. And she's like, I know this really good ice cream spot. Let me buy you, like, an ice cream. I'm like, that's the key to my heart, sweet food. So I was like, hell yeah. And then we're walking. But then she keeps giving me this look. And, like, you can just tell when a girl's into you. I don't know what the hell happened, but she just seemed, like, into me. She was looking at me, like, into me. And then she started, like, holding my hand. I was like, what the, okay, I'm not gonna lie, I initiated it. But she let it happen, so it was good. And we were walking, we were laughing a lot. It was really nice out there, like live music playing. It was really romantic, and it was like really perfect. So I was like, oh my gosh, like I started getting the nervous feeling. Like I actually started to feel like I had a chance coming back again. So we're going, and we get to I can't even speak. We're going, and we get to the ice cream spot, and she orders her ice cream. And I order like these exotic flavors to seem impressive. I actually like vanilla and cookies and cream, but I ordered this like gray Earl tea flavor. And she's like, oh, that's really like hot that you ordered that. And like she seemed more into me. I'm like, oh, no, it's like, oh, you know who I am. So yeah, and she was into that, and I was eating my ice cream. She bought it. It was huge. This ice cream was like $20, hugest ice cream ever. And she's like, I have to go somewhere. Like, can you come with me? I was like, sure. And I had like hearts in my eyes. Like we were having a lot of fun. We were just walking around, seeing the city and everything. And I was just so into. I was, I let her lead me anywhere. And eventually, we were walking for like 20 minutes, and then I finally like woke up from my daze, like my happy days, and I realized, where the hell am I? And I look around. It's like, it's the creepiest spot ever, bro. Like there's like abandoned buildings, people, bent over, bad substances laying on the ground. I'm like, okay, I'm like actually dead. And I actually just got a text from her. And that's actually crazy. What the hell? I actually just got a notification from her. Okay, I'm gonna explain why that's crazy later. Okay, wait, hold on. Okay, so let me speed this up because I want to answer. Okay, so listen, the day goes well. We do that, and I'm in this really creepy place, and then I enter this building, and we enter. There's like this abandoned building, and there's a really tiny door, and I remember the really tiny door. We walk in, and I just walk in with her because at this point, if she's gonna kill me, at least she's bad. So we walk in, and this place smells awful. Like it actually smells like dead bodies, and I was actually even ready to fight her. I was ready to smack the shit out of her. I was like I thought I was ready, to go from a hot girl. Like maybe she would crush me with her thighs or something. But like at this point, I actually got scared and I was ready to go. Like I did karate, like me. But we get into this really tiny elevator, and she's giving me the look, and I thought she's just doing this to attract me and get me into it. But I'm like, you know what? It's working. So we go up the elevator. We're on the second floor, and it just smells awful. Like everything smells awful. And then she goes into this thing. She's like, I have to buy something. I'm like, okay. And then she comes out with these printed photos, and she's like, oh, I wanted to put these on my fridge. I'm like, oh, okay. I don't really know why it smells so bad. We're at this weird place, but yeah. And then she's like, you like to drink, right? I'm like, oh yeah, I love to drink. So sorry, I'm just excited. I don't know why she. Okay, but listen. Okay, pause. So I'm like, yeah. And then she's like, let's drink. I'm like, okay. So we go. And then I'm like, where are we going to drink? And she's like, oh, my place. And then I was like, oh. So we go, and then we go buy drinks. She buys this like really expensive fancy wine. And then she's like, I have to buy groceries. So we buy groceries, and she buys all this healthy stuff. And, we're laughing, having fun. Like the whole day was really fun at this point. Like it was a 10 out of 10 date. And eventually we make it back to her place. And of course we walk in, and of course, she's super successful. So we walk in, there's like a security guard, and it's like a high-rise apartment, and it's actually insane, and it's like beautiful. There's like a chandelier, and the whole lobby's like white and like modern. I'm like, bro, like, what am I doing here? I was so nervous, bro. My heart was pounding. Like I didn't know what to do. So basically we get there, I'm helping her with her groceries. She has all this healthy stuff, and we have the drinks, and we sit down on the couch, and her apartment, of course, is super clean. It's super beautiful. It smells amazing. Like it just, I'll never forget the smell. I remember she had like this huge, like this desk set up for whatever dated people do, and just a whole view of the city. I was like, bro, what am I doing here? I do not belong here. We had this wine, and she bought me soju because I really wanted to try it. So soju, something like that. I don't know. But yeah, we're here. We're sitting on the couch, and eventually I'm like, I'm like, let me pour us a drink. And oh, I forgot to say, on the subway, we had to take the subway to her place, bro. That subway is so hot. Like it was like we went down there and it was the most like it was cold outside, but it was a burning hot subway. Oh my god, bro. That was disgusting. But when we were together, she kept looking at me and like just like the eyes when someone likes you, and I was so nervous at that. I'm nervous just saying the story, thinking of it. Oh my god. So we drank, and I was still a little hydrated. And eventually, we get, how do I say hydrated? Hungover. What am I saying? I don't really care if I get demonetized, bro. I know I'm not even monetized. I don't even know why I'm worried about it. We freaking drank, and shit. I'm 21, by the way. I was lying about being 19, so I can say that. Anyway, we of course I just turned 21, so we were doing that, and um yeah, and then eventually she's like, "Oh, I see the hickey on your neck." I did have one, and I was like, "Oh, like I was at a party last night." I told her, she's like, "No, it's okay. You're really handsome." I was like, "Oh," and then I just couldn't take it anymore. I'm just like, how bad? Like it was really cringy. I'm like, how bad I wanted to like kiss you, and she's like, "I know, me too." Oh my gosh. So, and then we started, we did the makeout, what you do. And then eventually, we went to her room and we were a little intoxicated. And I don't like, you know, and then, we uh, went from there, and you know how it goes. So we finished that up, and eventually we're just like sitting there and we're laughing and everything. And then it's like 2 in the morning, and we're having like a good time, we're both laughing, and then I'm like, "Oh, I gotta go." She's like, "What?" I was like, "Yeah, I got work in the morning." I completely forgot I had work at 7 in the morning. I'm like, "Listen, can you order me an Uber?" Because I didn't want my mom to find out that I was, so far away and not where I was supposed to be. So she ordered me the Uber, I paid her back, and we go back. So that was our date. We had a really good first date. I got all the way to the home run, and after that we were really talking, and we like, you could just, I felt the attraction. But shortly after that I did have to leave. That kind of ruined it. I got to work at 7 in the morning. If I felt awful during work, it was the worst day of work ever, second worst day of work ever. But yeah, so after that, she I was like, "When do you want to hang out again?" She's like, "Oh, I'm going back to Europe." I was like, "Oh." And then I see on her stories she's in Europe. And then after that, she comes back, and I'm like, "Oh, you want to do?" And she's like, "Oh, I'm going to EDC Orlando. I got invited. I had to do like some stuff." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." And then she went, and she's like, "Do you want to come with me?" She also asked me to go, not on the Euro trip, but like she's like, "Oh, you should come with me. I'll pay for our Airbnb, but you just have to pay for your flight ticket." And I'm way too broke, so I had to decline, say I was busy. And she's like, "Oh, okay, are you sure? Like, I'll pay for the Airbnb, and we'll have our own room, and we can do what we did again." And I was like, yeah, I can't, because I'm freaking poor, and I have to save up for med school and fill out my Roth, and that's not what I said, but I was just like, I can't. She's like, "Oh, okay." And then I see her post, and she's having a really good time, and I see the modeling companies texting her, and I'm like, "Oh yeah," and I completely remembered. She's completely out of my league. So then I'm like, "Oh, you want to do something again?" She's like, "No, I have to go to somewhere else, bro." And then she went to a different country, and she's like, "Do you want to go?" And I had to say the same thing. She's like, "Oh, okay." And then it happens again. And then recently, I was supposed to go to Vegas with her, and not Vegas, but like for New Year's. But she of course hinted at the idea, and she got a really fancy hotel. It was like a penthouse hotel with the pool, and she's there right now. And I can't go because I'm poor, and I am, you know. So yeah, basically, after I canceled on her again for that, you could tell she lost feelings because she realized, hang on, this kid is not going to go on vacations with me, And, you know, I think she thought I was more because I was friends with the influencer girl, but, you know, that's her. I'm not that. So, yeah, that's what happened because you guys didn't freaking subscribe so I could be a millionaire. So freaking subscribe. But yeah, that's why you shouldn't date super successful girls, because they're going to realize that you're broke and you suck and you can't go on vacations with them constantly. Yeah. So there's my little story time. People wanted me to tell this story to YouTube because, you know, because, you know, why not? And, you know, yeah. And we didn't talk for a while, but she did just message me. So maybe we're back in. But, you know, yeah.